We all want to be more productive, right? To get more done, but with less stress. Well, what if the real secret isn't about adding some new life hack or tool? What if it's actually about getting rid of the bad habits that are already holding you back? Today, we're going to dig into 8 of the biggest productivity killers that you seriously need to avoid. Just let that sink in for a second. We're always so focused on building new habits, trying new things, but today, we're completely flipping the script. We're going to play defense. We're going to protect our most valuable assets, our time, our focus, and our energy. And that's really the core idea here. Being truly efficient isn't about jamming your schedule full of stuff. It's about creating the space you need for deep, meaningful work. And you do that by cutting out all the noise. So, let's get into what that noise actually is. All right, first up, we have got to guard our focus. Think about it. Your attention is probably the most precious resource you have in the modern world, and it is constantly under attack. The first 2 productivity killers we're talking about, they're the major culprits. So, multitasking. There's a reason people call it an illusion. It feels so productive, doesn't it? Juggling a dozen things at once. But the science on this is crystal clear. Every single time you switch tasks, your brain pays a price. You lose time and you lose mental clarity. Single tasking, on the other hand, is the direct path to doing higher quality work, and believe it or not, doing it faster. And here's multitasking's partner in crime, those constant notifications. That little ping from your email or your chat app, it might seem totally harmless, but it is a momentum killer. It yanks you right out of deep concentration, and studies show it can take you several minutes just to get that focus back. Now, imagine that happening 20 times an hour, and poof, your whole day is gone. And what we're really losing here is something called the flow state. This is that amazing zone where you're just so absorbed in what you're doing that time flies by and you are performing at your absolute best. Every single notification is a roadblock to getting into that state. So the takeaway here is really, really simple. To protect your flow, you have to silence the pings. But look, focus isn't just about what you're doing from one moment to the next. It's also about how you structure your entire day. So let's move on to our second section, designing a workflow that actually sets you up for success. These 3 saboteurs, they're subtle, but man, they are powerful. They create all this friction and chaos, and they can turn what should be a smooth day into a constant uphill battle. Let's break down exactly how to fight back against each one. So, the antidote to a chaotic, unstructured workday? It's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's all about being proactive instead of reactive. Before the day even starts, you figure out what really matters. Then you block out time for it on your calendar. And then, and this is the important part, you treat those blocks like they're unbreakable appointments. This is how you get back in the driver's seat of your own day. Okay, let's talk about your environment. A messy desk or a computer desktop with 100 icons all over it, that's not just an aesthetic problem. It's a cognitive problem. All that clutter actually increases your stress levels, and it forces you to waste precious mental energy and time just trying to find things. Seriously, a clean space helps create a clear mind. And the last workflow killer is poor communication. Just think about it for a second. How many times has a really vague email led to hours of wasted work or rework? Being unclear doesn't save time, it costs a ton of time. And that's why clear, concise communication is one of the most powerful productivity tools you have. Okay, so we've guarded our focus, we've designed our workflow. The final piece of this puzzle is protecting your personal energy. Because, let's be honest, without any fuel in the tank, even the best car in the world isn't going anywhere. Now, these 3 habits might seem totally unrelated, but they all draw from the exact same finite resource, your mental and emotional energy. They leave you feeling drained and just unable to do your best work, no matter how focused or organized you try to be. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? We say yes all the time, maybe to please other people or because we feel like we have to, but you gotta remember, every yes to one thing is a no to something else. Overcommitting just means you're spread way too thin, and the quality of everything you're working on starts to suffer. The most productive people are often the ones who are masters at strategically saying no. This one is so counterintuitive, but it's so important. Pushing through for 8 hours straight feels like you're being dedicated, right? But it's actually a recipe for burnout. Your brain needs downtime. It needs a chance to recharge and process information. Breaks are not a luxury. They are a biological necessity if you want to perform at a high level. And finally, we have the quietest killer of them all. Getting sucked into office gossip or politics is like having a slow leak in your energy tank. It distracts you from what's actually important, it sours your mood, and it just creates a toxic environment for everybody. Staying above all that isn't just good for the team, it's absolutely essential for your own focus and your well-being. So, we have just covered 8 major productivity killers. Let's wrap this all up by looking at them through 3 simple pillars that you can easily remember and start applying. Think of this slide as your cheat sheet. It really all comes down to these 3 areas. First, guard your focus. Avoid multitasking and shut off those notifications. Second, design your workflow. Structure your day, organize your space, and communicate clearly. And third, protect your energy. Learn to say no, take your breaks, and stay out of the drama. Now look, don't try to fix all 8 of these at once. That's just a recipe for failure. Just look at this list, find the one that really jumps out at you, the one that you know is costing you the most, and make a simple commitment. Decide that you're going to start eliminating just that one habit tomorrow. Because real productivity begins not with what you start doing, but with what you decide to stop.